Title: While I was bedridden after surgery, I heard my brother laugh. She needs a real man, not a pathetic cripple who can't even climb the stairs. My fiancé laughed too. Then he came into my room wearing my robe, sipping my coffee, saying, "Your wedding isn't delayed. I will marry her instead of you. It's non-negotiable." Everyone agreed. I said nothing. But 3 weeks later, they were screaming at my door, begging for mercy. Start. I woke to laughter. Not the warm kind that used to fill this house, but the sharp, mocking kind that makes your chest hollow. It was my brother's voice. She needs a real man, not a pathetic cripple who can't even climb the stairs. And then hers, my fiancé's. A low, cruel laugh that used to be my favorite sound. The words hit harder than the surgery scars. I stayed still, breathing slow. Moments later, my bedroom door creaked open. My brother strolled in, wearing my robe, sipping my coffee, smelling like my cologne. "Your wedding isn't delayed," he said, almost cheerfully. "I'll marry her instead of you. Non-negotiable." Everyone agreed. Everyone. I looked at him, said nothing, just let the silence settle, heavy as lead. He smirked. Good talk. Then he left. We'd grown up close, or so I thought. Shared a room as kids, shared dreams. He was the charming one. I was the steady one. When I met Claire, she told me she admired how I anchored people. I thought that meant loyalty. Turns out it meant I was an easy mark. The signs were there, but I'd been blind. The way they avoided each other too much in public. How she defended him when he made crude jokes. How his visits grew more frequent when I was in the hospital, as if my pain was his invitation. That morning wasn't the first betrayal. It was just the first one they stopped hiding. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, letting the betrayal burn into something cleaner. Not rage, precision. I stopped talking to both of them. I smiled when they visited, let them think my silence meant defeat, but my phone was recording every word. I asked casual questions. How's the planning going? Did Dad really say he's fine with this? They answered too much, always too much. While they celebrated their stolen future, I called my lawyer. My will was updated. My finances rearranged. I found out the down payment for their future home was coming from the joint account I had funded. That account no longer existed by the end of the week. I had 3 weeks before I could walk without the crutches. That was enough. Step 1, social proof. I sent anonymous tips, screenshots, audio clips to key family members. No context, just seeds. Step 2, financial chokehold. They'd been living off me without realizing it. My brother's business was bankrupt. Claire's bridal boutique was 6 months behind on rent. I pulled my silent support. By week 2, their bills were stacking like bad poker chips. Step 3, public exposure. My brother prided himself on his spotless reputation. Claire cared about appearances more than she cared about breathing. I arranged for their engagement announcement to be leaked alongside the hospital audio clip, the one where they joked about me dying to make things easier. By the end of week 3, they were cornered. But I wasn't finished. I invited them to talk, told them I wanted to settle things privately. They came, still trying to look victorious, but I saw the cracks, dark circles, jittery hands. They sat in my living room. I let them speak first. It was nonsense. Half apologies mixed with excuses. It just happened. You were weak. We didn't plan to hurt you. I stood slowly, leaning on my cane for effect, and handed them each a folder. Inside, their financial statements, eviction notices, court summons for breach of contract, and a printed transcript of their own words from my recordings. Claire's hand shook. Where did you get this?" "From you," I said simply. My brother's voice cracked for the first time in years. "You can't." I already did. The knock at the door was perfectly timed. 2 officers stepped in, polite but firm. fraud, theft, and, in my brother's case, assault charges from a woman he'd assumed would stay silent. She hadn't, thanks to my lawyer. As they cuffed him, he turned to me, eyes wide. "You're ruining my life!" I met his gaze. "No, I'm just returning the favor." They took him away. Claire stayed, frozen. When she finally spoke, it was barely a whisper. "Please, I have nothing." I tilted my head. "Then, we're even." She stumbled out into the night. For a moment, the house was painfully quiet. Then I realized it wasn't pain anymore, just quiet. I climbed the stairs without my cane that night, sat on my bed, breathed deep. They thought my silence meant surrender, but silence is just the space where plans take shape. And mine worked perfectly.